I could see it happening in Cabinet. Bill Gunn was very nervous about it as Police Minister. He was getting regular reports on what was happening, and he was saying there's a real doozy of a television program. As a matter of fact, when he announced that there would be a commission of inquiry, he was acting Premier. Joe was overseas. It hadn't been to Cabinet. It was going to occur out at Roma at a country cabinet meeting.
I was interested in the choice of Tony Fitzgerald, and I think at first, I know there were people who thought that he didn't have a lot of background in criminal law, and therefore maybe someone who they could fool. I think that whoever assigned Fitzgerald to that job knew full well his capability, his persistence, his integrity.
Sparks was calling all the ministers. He called me and asked me to give Gunn my support. I said I would give it. And Joe was flying back from the US. He didn't approve this at all. It was an electric cabinet meeting too, sort of, that understates it.
I think that there was a lot of concern at the time that Justice Pratt was going to be given the job because he'd been on the Police Complaints Tribunal. As it was sometimes said about Royal Commissions, that no government orders a Royal Commission if they can't be certain of what the outcome will be.
The Premier Bjelke-Petersen decided to have a change in his ministry. But he said to me, I want your resignation. And I said, well, you can't have it unless you tell me why. He said, I don't have to tell you why. He said, I've checked with the Governor and I don't have to give a reason. I said, well, you do to get a resignation, but you can sack me if you like. But if you do, I advise you to watch that television over there because I'll go straight out and I will challenge you for the leadership of the party. And he said, well, you can do whatever you like. I said, the National Party will not be happy with this. He said, I am the National Party. So I did that. I went down and presumably on his TV for all to see, I announced that I would challenge him for leadership of the party. He didn't even get near to the numbers to avoid it happening.
But you know, I will never forget coming up to Queensland because the ABC was given leave to appeal before the Fitzgerald Inquiry, to appear. And I was kind of dragging my heels a bit because it's an awkward situation to be in. You're a journalist, you've got a trusting relationship with a whole lot of witnesses.
The reality is that what we did here was we opened all cabinet records, let them have a look, so that as we were going forward we couldn't have anyone say, look, you tried to hobble it in some way. We did not.
I remember one of the lawyers grabbing me by the lapels, you know, and pushing me against a wall and saying, come on, Chris, this is one of the few opportunities we have to get something done, you know, you've got to help. I was slow coming around, as were my witnesses, but bit by bit, you know, we started to see that there might be something in this inquiry.
I took a decision there that was probably the most significant decision made in recent times in Queensland there, when Tony Fitzgerald asked me to broaden the terms of reference of the inquiry to include other people who might be involved in corruption. I discussed it with the Cabinet and they agreed with me that this inquiry was going to represent, whether we liked it or not, it was going to turn the page on history in Queensland, and that we just needed to see that the Commission had all the information it needed. He prosecuted 146 people. He didn't set out to prosecute anybody, but he successfully prosecuted 146 people.